to their identity than these two questions. Why was NeoNova created, and what are they sworn to protect? Yet in their hearts, the only truth they find is the truth they dare to seek. Welcome back, Agent May.
Reporting in, Cybercore. This is very new. What am I looking at?
What you see is a listener, a representation of a digital software entity designed to maintain a secure connection between my systems, the archives, and you.
The archives? Wait, isn't sending vast amounts of information directly into my Micro-Biochip dangerous? Since it contains vast amounts of recorded human history, Cybercore.
Yes, but more specifically, our history. And you will be fine, dear May. Your biochip will receive visual information while the Nexus 2 handles the information overload. Now, initializing archival access and data reconstruction. It is good to speak to you again, Agent May.
Likewise, Cybercore. Why do we need access to the human history archives? Is my training in need of it?
Only by reviewing the past do we begin to understand the present with clarity. And by exploring the many forces that forged NeoNova, you and others will come to understand why it is often called the beacon of hope, the city that rose from the ashes of the old world.
Alright, fair enough, but this is the first time I've seen this interface. And it doesn't seem like I am the only one connected to your systems.
This broadcast connects to every timeline capable of receiving its signal. There is a possibility of others watching, but also, some notable personnel might join you during these lessons too.
Notable personnel? I assume you mean from our symbiote organization? That's interesting, but, Cybercore...
What is it, Agent May?
I am confident in my knowledge of the history of my city. I was born here after all.
While every Novian receives the same historical and foundational education material, you do remember your father's words. No mortal can grasp the totality of knowledge.
For all knowledge is from the eternal. I know.
Then you also know there's still much to learn. Let us begin. After decades of catastrophic events, a time Novians solemnly refer to as the Dark Times, ended on the day NeoNova was born. Today, it is the year 2086, and 11 years have passed since its creation. Yet, what lies outside of the city is what Novians call the Old World.
I remember that label from my early school years, but that name holds significant meaning to us Novians. To be fair, even though no one from the city is permitted to leave its borders, some are old enough to remember what it was like out there. But, Cybercore, tell me exactly what happened. I know there must be more than what we were taught in school.
Records are sparse, and what remains is speculation, which is the main reason this topic was never taught extensively during your school education. We do not possess the exact data on particular events, save for the ones obtained from corporate entities that survived by isolation. And yet, we cannot take their word for truth either.
Well, as Father said, the first victim of any war is truth.
Correct, but this rephrased quote is much older than High Primus Gabriel, and yet humanity has not learned from its own mistakes. By the time the world plunged into chaos, wars came in many forms: military, economic, and corporate. Each one reshaped the world in its own way, and we have reasons to believe corporations isolated themselves to seize control when governments failed their people. Riots resulted from lack of food, water, and a sustainable way of life, and soon after, flames consumed the old world.
And so this gave rise to the Isolationists. I remember this was a tricky period to understand in school. But I bet there is much more to be discovered in the archives. Right, Cybercore?
Affirmative. Your memory serves you well. The motives of the Council of the Primes, however controversial, were not without merit. As should any ruling governance be, this is no different for NeoNova's ruling elite. They forbid speculation in official curricula. They see truth to be paramount. Yet, as a Novian, you are free to pursue the archived fragments yourself, accessing old world archival data.
Oh, that would answer a lot of questions. Wait, a warning? But you just said everyone could access it.
Affirmative. Data Archive Connection recognizes the biometric ID of the user, protecting said data from users with criminal or questionable historical records. Only specific IDs can access data on the old world.
I see. I never had issues with it. Oh, wait. Father must have given me access. Oh, now I understand. Wow, who are these?
Merely a visual reconstruction of the Isolationists created by the listener. The earliest data of the old world showed corporations were driven by profit, playing a central role in the collapse of the world. As mankind failed to preserve peace for decades, these corporations forged desperate ties with failing governments, alliances born of necessity and survival. Though records remain incomplete, surviving fragments suggest a slow convergence. Weaker governmental powers were absorbed by powerful corporations, not necessarily erased, forming what are now known as mega corporations, colossal entities that challenged old powers. As a result, sovereignty shifted towards those who held the keys to advanced technology, vital resources, and human capital.
And with that, the world fell into darkness. I still remember that quote from our elementary school years. It was difficult, even for our modern-day researchers trying to verify anything from that era. Still, people lived difficult and isolated lives by being branded by the corporations they served. But what I never understood, Cybercore, is how did these reclusive megacorporations so bent on solitude ever come together? It sounds impossible.
That, Agent May, is the miracle of NeoNova. NeoNova was originally a small scientific outpost on a man-made island, situated near the Eratosthenes seamount in the eastern Mediterranean Sea. Over time, it was expanded, maintained, and developed by a coalition of 3 corporations working in tandem, their eventual merger forming the mega corporation known as Supergenerations Industries, famously known as SuGin, in 2063.
The Paragon. That's when the human embryos were first created.
That is correct, and I understand this is a sensitive subject for you and your sister June. If you do not wish for us to discuss it further...
No. These memories, they are in the past now. Please, continue.
Understood, Agent May. Now, to answer your earlier question, we must understand what SuGin is. This mega corporation, forged by the merger of 3 very powerful corporate entities, sought a breakthrough to overcome the growing crisis of their time. And so their experiments crossed the moral threshold into human experimentation, among others.
And many view SuGin as the saviors of our world, but they are ruled by a generational aristocratic family. They must have had their own agenda.
Absolutely. Yet, the engineered embryos became the catalyst that made SuGin into a global leader in science and technology. Their achievements demonstrated the impossible. While many rival corporations had no intention of cooperating, their isolationist views made unity nearly unthinkable. They focused on extending their own sphere of influence through merges, buyouts, or worse. SuGin's achievements, however, granted them the leverage to attempt the impossible.
Something tells me there is more to this story.
Your intuition is accurate, Agent May. While other isolationists had their own successes, they kept their progress a secret. This selfishness deepened global economic and social decay. The world, scarred by the many faces of war, saw only darkness ahead. And so, SuGin chose the path none dared take. They shared everything. Their discoveries, research, technologies, but with conditions. They offered their propositions to every corporation, and 3 answered.
That part of my education never made sense to me. That was a great risk they took. They could have lost it all if the others betrayed them, even if they followed the proposed conditions by SuGin.
A risk, yes, but taken with calculated brilliance. Their decision was built on undeniable facts. The world was dying, and survival demanded a new kind of cooperation. Creating genetically designed embryos only meant SuGin had the numbers to destroy the world. They only needed time.
But everyone could have seen that as a threat, and SuGin had the upper hand in making such a threat. But when you said attempt the impossible, what did you mean?
SuGin's brilliance was not in merely sharing their technology, but in how they used it as leverage. Their strategic move was to take advantage of the current state of these megacorporations at the time. They offered what others always wanted: advanced solutions, scalable systems, and intellectual capital, offering an opportunity to further their gain in power.
I knew it! There is another side to the story. Oh, that's NeoNova. Just how I remember it from childhood.
Yes, the Paragon, which was the main structure in NeoNova when it was merely an outpost, as it stood during SuGin's open proposition it offered to the rival corporations, regardless of power or origin. The proposition was a simple idea. Unite under your existing knowledge and technologies, and together we build a new home, a city born of power, purpose, and survival. A global power formed by the will of a great council.
The Council of the Primes.
Correct, Agent May. That union unified them into a technocratic bureaucracy, a system that valued the knowledge and expertise of its council members while preserving their autonomy as corporate personnel. From it, NeoNova evolved from an isolated outpost into a living monument of progress.
It became the City of Hope, born from the ashes of the old world, as Novians say.
A popular sentiment, known and expressed by every citizen of the city.
That's true. But Cybercore, Father already told me so much about the Council.
He is a high Primus after all, but some of its complexities were not revealed to you or to your sister, and a brief review of the Council's hierarchy and system of governance is required to discuss their impact on NeoNova's technological prowess.
Okay, understood.
The Council of the Primes is formed of 2 positions. The Primes being the most numerous and highly active members, and the High Primes, the highest and most prestigious position in NeoNova's governmental body. But their relationship is rather complicated.
I know enough from what Father had told me, but he never explained in detail how they affect our city's functions.
And yet, as a symbiote, this is critical information to know and to fully understand. Its complexity lies in the careful containment of specific rights codified in Alkanoon, a term derived from a language far older than Novian, meaning simply the law. Within it, a Primus holds the authority to propose solutions and vote on matters of safety, productivity, and efficiency, undertake tasks assigned by the Council, and qualify corporate personnel for admission into the Council of the Primes. The High Primes, in turn, oversee geopolitical strategy, technological direction, and the security and welfare of the city.
Yikes! You were not kidding when you said it was complicated.
Yet, what was provided was merely a simple explanation. The law the Council abides by goes in much greater detail.
So, here's a question for you, Cybercore. How is a Primus elected? You said they had to be qualified.
The law states this clearly. Every Primus must belong to an existing corporation. They may be a gifted scientist, a distinguished member of a ruling family, or an ambitious leader. But before selection, their qualities must be first recognized by one or more sitting Primes, who then bring the nomination before the High Primes to authorize a vote for admission into the Council.
I say, this sounds straightforward. And how does a Primus become a High Primus?
Although your father once served as a Primus before attaining his current rank of a High Primus, such a status is exceedingly difficult to attain. Only the High Primes may vote to elevate a Primus to that prestigious rank, and no defined criteria exists for how one earns it.
Wait, is this written in the law?
Affirmative. The law states that this matter is within the High Prime's sole decision.
Wow. This does make me wonder, what did Father do to earn his position?
Your father, High Primus Gabriel Nassar, a highly respected and intelligent individual, is renowned for even his earliest achievements made during NeoNova's early outpost years. It is no surprise he was given such a high status, and after Neilva, the current ruler of SuGin, pressured her son, High Primus Vagus Neilva, to issue a recommendation to appoint your father to the status of a High Primus.
Vagus Neilva. Me and June know he opposed Father for a very long time, and ever since their clash 20 years ago. But one thing kept me wondering about all this. Why have they kept the council alive? Corporations, at least from their earliest of positions, were not interested in maintaining a city. What is keeping them together?
A very valid point, Agent May. What keeps it together is an intricate balance of power, a fail-safe against total collapse.
Huh? Wait, how?
The Foundation is a rigid system designed to prevent the Council from turning on itself, a framework built to preserve their collective interests and safety. Though corporations remain ruled by individuals, collectives, or complex dynasties, they have long abandoned traditional corporate structures in favor of more specialized governance. Some preserved family lineages, others relied on inner circle power, and many devised unique systems of their own, all prospering under the Council's authority.
So all of them benefit in some way or another, thus maintaining the Council's power and integrity, and in turn, NeoNova's preservation?
While this isn't always the case, corporate agendas prevailing over the Council's collective interests gave rise to various threats within NeoNova, and some corrupted members had a hand in enabling such threats.
Oh yeah, I can think of a few factions that resulted of this. The Phantom Syndicates, the Wireheads, the Omnitronians,
and the rumored connections to the Children of Kudra by some council members, to name just a few. All speak of instability taking place in the city. We will discuss these factions in detail later, but aren't you forgetting something important, Agent May?
Like what? Oh wait, hold on. The proof of the effectiveness of the Council. Am I right?
Very observant, Agent May.
I knew it! If the Council is to endure, it must prove its systems is both functional and effective.
Precisely. And to prove its superiority over existing systems of governance at the time, the Council issued a prime directive, the research and development of the neural grid, otherwise known as the Council's Miracle.
Their greatest achievement to date. We studied this extensively in school.
Not a surprise. Every Novian citizen must develop a full understanding of the neural grid's capabilities and be registered into its identification system in the form of an implant called the Micro-Biochip.
Yes, or risk losing your Novian citizenship. Yet, everyone in our city has this amazing experience. From entertainment, services, to social interactions, even products specific to the neural grid's augmented level are available. That's a lot of shopping. It is fascinating how Novians created a world within a world, but...
My data shows unusual brain activity. Are you having troubled thoughts?
Somewhat. I do remember the days before we had this technology.
Were things better before its creation?
My father always said, achievements come with a price. And I was only thinking of the dangers caused by the grid. But I do believe it has made our lives a lot better. Easier, too.
Every daring step into the vast ocean of possibility is a risk.
You sound like Father.
Not surprising, since he was the one who programmed me. In any case, a thorough explanation is necessary to discuss the current potential dangers caused by the grid.
Absolutely, but let me go first this time. There are 2 levels to the grid. 3 if you count the void theory.
Excellent. You remembered what I told you before. Now explain what these levels are.
Why, certainly. I do remember my education very well. So, the first level is what they call the Simple Non-Visual Experience, or SNE for short. By the way, Novians love giving acronyms to everything.
So I've noticed.
Anyways, the second level is where things get interesting.
Begin by describing the purpose of SNE first.
Right, sorry. I was getting ahead of myself. SNE grants access to anyone without a microchip to the neural grid, but only the superficial level of the grid. This includes important necessities such as public services, navigation, and search queries for stores and entertainment. Simple things like that.
Correct. This is normally given to corporate diplomats visiting NeoNova. Citizens do not have use for such a device.
Yes, since this device is merely an interpreter between the user and the grid.
Well done, Agent May. The second level, however, is very different.
And exciting.
It certainly was when the citizens of NeoNova experienced the miracle of the Council for the very first time.
But how did the Council invent this concept and actualize it?
Do you remember the state of the world in the year 2076?
Vaguely. I was only 10 years old at the time.
Then I shall explain. Recall the segregation of the world, how people all over felt the need for a change, a light to shine over the darkness that has kept them isolated, troubled, and living in fear and uncertainty. The neural grid challenged the old ways by connecting everyone to a singular system of recognition. This was the Council's goal, to build a monument of their unity.
Yes. Currently, Novians see a strong connection between their city's identity and the neural grid.
And not without reason. Once the grid was activated, their entire experience of reality changed with it. Their perception of another world within theirs gave rise to unity rather than isolation. Now begin your explanation of the second level of the neural grid.
Oh, right, yes. So, the second level is really the primary use of the grid. Each citizen is connected to several nodes located underground in various parts of the city. That's how they maintain their experience and presence on the grid.
And the visual and auditory sensory experiences?
That's easy. Think of it like a virtual world, except it is layered over how we perceive our reality, merging the digital and the physical worlds together.
An acceptable explanation, although oversimplified in certain areas. The neural grid is a network of nodes that deliver a stream of data, which is then visually interpreted by the user's brain via the Micro-Biochip. This, in turn, allows the thoughts and mental processes of the user to be streamed back as digital data, meaning a constant and seamless communication between the two is established. With this, they could access a variety of services and deeper social interactions.
Which removed the Council's fears of their citizens developing an isolated attachment to the grid.
Correct. The use of the Micro-Biochip allowed for one person to sense the other through subtle data transmissions, while the neural grid systems acting as a medium between them. This, ironically, simplified understanding but didn't eradicate the need for expression. Instead, it introduced a sophisticated version of it.
Yes, our language has improved drastically in the past 10 years or so. We have new words and a new expression almost every day.
Novian is a very rich and beautifully expressed language.
Glad you like it. But Cybercore, I do not fully understand the third level, or the void as the Council calls it.
This information is confidential.
What? Even for us symbiotes?
No. You are required to know this information, as well as every other agent. I will connect us to your father's corporation, Bright Sun Tech Corp, and obtain its classified data regarding the neural grid's void theory.
Oh, please do!
The void, or the Reconstructive Cycle, as we call it officially, is a theoretical third level of the neural grid, an existence that was never thought possible. A world made of pure digital data the mind can access and traverse its unique yet dangerous landscape.
How did such a world come into existence exactly?
The key is to understand that it does not really exist, at least, not in the way our reality does. It is an evolving world. What was initially thought to be chaotic forms of evolution turned out to have structure forming its own rules, but strangely keeping itself consistent as per our observations. Recall mentioning the two-way connection between the Micro-Biochip and the grid's node systems.
Yes, I remember.
These nodes do not just stream data, they also store it and form a web-like structure within itself. Each streamed set of data connects to another complicated set of data within the node, forming a concept which can be understood once received by the user.
Okay, that was complicated, and I think I understood that part.
What is important to understand, Agent May, is that what we call the theoretical third level exists during the cyclical moment between each refreshed stream of data to send to its users. The existence between such a millisecond can be visualized and brought to a full experiential tangibility by accessing it.
But is the old data lost once the node requests a new data stream?
To our surprise, no. At least, not all of it. This strange behavior by the grid was not expected. The result was an emergent phenomenon we will be discussing later.
I think I know what you mean. But how does one access something like that?
A question the Council fearfully asked when it was first infiltrated by...
The annoying wireheads.
Correct. They were the first group to access the Reconstructive Cycle by developing a unique connection directly interfacing with the data inside of the node, bypassing both instructional and protective layers.
And yet, I haven't even accessed the third level.
And you shouldn't without proper training. It is a world full of evolving structures. Time flows very slowly there. A second in our reality is multiplied within that world. It is chaotic, yet ordered, dangerous, yet elusive. And now, with all our observations of its repeated evolutions, we witness new threats.
I know the wireheads have developed ways to access the grid before the Syndicate managed to.
It isn't unusual when the Phantom Syndicates access the third level, as they were the creation of the Council, and were ordered by them to begin access as soon as possible. However, they were not the only two.
Of course, the Omnitronians followed.
Affirmative.
But Cybercore, how did the wireheads manage to access it first?
All speculations point to treason within the Council. The Reconstructive Cycle was not a foreign theory, but was a logical deduction by the scientists working on the neural grid's development. This was brought up to the Council as a potential vulnerability. Without this knowledge, the theory stays with the Council and loses its threat.
Someone shared the theory with the wireheads?
The Council, while formed from powerful and most prestigious members, isn't without its flaws. There will always be a shadow cast from light.
It is exactly as Father feared. But since they already had that knowledge, why didn't they access it first?
A setback caused by not taking the initiative. While not all members were to blame, several were skeptical of the third level's existence, and others were worried of its dangers and its implications. The result was a constant delay in furthering their investigation.
Could it be this was done intentionally?
A possibility.
Traitors within the Council. Now this is problematic.
And will continue to be so unless we symbiotes prevent such evil.
Absolutely.
The neural grid, although a monumental achievement to the Novians and, specifically, to the Council, has its darker side. But before we terminate our connection to the archives, let us review what you know of some of the major factions threatening NeoNova. Provide me with 6 of these factions.
Okay, I will do my best, but my information is not complete.
I will help you with additional information.
Alright, well, we did mention a few. We have the Wireheads, the Phantom Syndicate, the Omnitronians, the Children of Kudra, the Covenant of the Crimson Path.
Excellent. Begin with the Phantom Syndicates.
Okay, they are the secret army cloned by the Council. Father told me some of the members, including himself, opposed to this idea, but the majority of the Primes ruled for it. But their story of creation, murder, betrayal, and finally division was a tragedy.
Agreed. Although they were completely under the immediate control of the Council, they once were an independent force with serious integrity and honor. Continue.
Yes, of course. And then we have the Wireheads. No one knows where they came from or who supports them.
The Council was able to discover several connections to major corporations operating outside the boundaries of our city, yet substantial evidence was needed.
They are basically a ruthless band of juvenile tech junkies who happen to cause a lot of issues for reasons still unknown to us. They mostly live on the edges of the city, hence why our Information Security Command is spread mostly on the borders.
The data points to one undeniable conclusion. They are interested in the neural grid's third level, but we have yet to determine why exactly. Still, they are known to display acts of insanity while being ruthless and dangerous in numbers, but utilizing inferior technological and martial capability.
So, next we have the Technological Zealots, the Omnitronians, also known as a Tronian if you wish to anchor one of them.
The followers of the so-called Spark. Their precious leader, who in some bizarre circumstance transformed into another entity contained in a massive metallic spherical device.
But Cybercore, how do we know if this information is accurate? I thought the Omnitronians were a closed cult who kept their secrets.
Do not underestimate our intelligence, Agent May. The Symbiots are very capable. We have gathered more information about him. Or it. It appears the Spark is silent for all their group's members, save for one we named the Decipher, the one who listens to it.
He's the one that hears whispers of the Spark and carries out its commands.
The Spark doesn't whisper. This is merely a metaphor. The Decipher gazes into the bright light of the Spark within the device containing it to receive signals. We have yet to understand how or why this is possible.
I see.
The Omnitronians are only interested in what they call the fusion of life, a doctrine of ascension beyond human limitations by technological means. They usually raid to steal any form of technology that interests them.
And when they cannot, they destroy instead.
These are not the only threatening forces around. The Children of Kudra, named after their leader, whom our data suggests him to be omniscient. And the Covenant of the Crimson Path, the betrayed brothers of the Syndicates. But none match the greatest threat of all.
The Masterminds.
The false creations of the Void.
When I was younger, I heard horrible stories of people seeing things. Oddities and anomalies that confused and traumatized many people. The most famous event was the Polyphemus Night.
The recent event is well documented, with many witnesses experiencing for the first time the dangers of the Masterminds. Polyphemus was the name given to this anomaly, which hovered above the northern part of the city. It was a massive, spherical entity, covered with thousands of eyes staring back at whoever looked at it.
I remember reading this article. It froze above the city for almost an hour, yet some of the victims who stared at it claimed they felt it appeared for mere seconds.
Masterminds have varying degrees of dangerous abilities. Some can trick a person to hurt themselves, others can cause psychological harm, and in this case, distortion in the perception of time.
Can you tell me again how they were created?
Recall the phenomenon we discussed earlier when learning about the neural grid. The Masterminds were born of the void from an experiment went wrong. In the days following the infiltration of the third level by the Syndicates, they noticed unusual behavior taking shape inside of many nodes, a form of collective intelligence as a result of human thoughts streaming in and out of the grid. This news was brought to the Council, who wished to carry an investigation into this interesting phenomenon. This resulted in several reports suggesting a world was being formed independently from our own. And some members of the Council began discussing the possibility of emerging intelligence from within the grid.
Oh, I think Father mentioned it before. He said some of the primes began believing in this quasi-religious doctrine that somehow we were creating a superintelligence.
Correct. Yet the High Primus, along with several prominent members of the Council, insisted this intelligence was mere human thought in the form of digital noise, echoing in a closed chamber. This didn't stop High Primus Vagus Neilva, the heir to SuGin's directorship, from issuing a secret command to the syndicates, ordering them to experiment on these void anomalies.
And that resulted in the creation of the Masterminds?
Not immediately, but initially this caused a catastrophic fragmentation of the so-called intelligent anomaly that resulted in every part bearing independence. It was later revealed that they still had recognition to their former unified intelligence.
But did we find out if they were truly intelligent?
Almost everything points to them being just organized digital data that became autonomous, and therefore dangerous.
How do we know if they are dangerous?
We know what they want.
And what is it?
They wish to leave the grid by any means, even if it involves our destruction.
Leave? By any means?
They seek to cross the threshold between digital data and biological reality. To them, we are the only thing standing in the way of their evolution. That is why Operation Symbiote was created by your father, High Primus Gabriel Nassar. You and the rest of the symbiote agents must stop the Masterminds to ensure the safety of NeoNova.
NeoNova is everything we've got. It is me and my sister's home, Cybercore. Alongside our father, we will never leave it.
And of that, I am sure of. Let us adjourn for now. We have much to do.
Understood, Cybercore.
Terminating archival connection. Initiating Nexus 2 cycle termination. I will see you soon, Agent May.